Greetings, class. I am creating this presentation hopefully to help us square away some of the cascading style sheet dilemmas that some of you have been experiencing. So I titled this Cascade Style Sheets Are Driving Me Crazy Too. If you'll remember, one of my other ones was about copying files or something like that. So what I plan to do is to um, show you again how to get your files and how to download your files, and then how to upload what you need to the next chapter's assignment for the wildlife rescue. So, having said that, I'm going to switch my screen, so I'll be right back with you, okay? Okay, class, what I have done is I've navigated to where our chapters are so far, and I'm going to open up chapter 4. And I'm going to go down to the chapter 4 code, and the one that we're all kind of tripping over with the cascading style sheets is this C4 in the lab 2, creating a style sheet for wildlife rescue. So I'm going to click on that, launch it, and wait. Start my assignment. Well, that looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Let me pause and see what I can do about this. Okay, second time was successful. So you're familiar with this layout and doing the assignments, going through the instructions. Over here, when you came in, your file tree has workspace, which it's supposed to have. It has resources. I'm just going to open that up. Oops. Baby hawk picture, baby raccoons, tortoise. And then, of course, the ever-ready README text for Git. But we don't have our resource from our previous chapter. So we have to do something in order to get that folder in to this area. So let me drag over. I'm going to minimize it down a little bit so it floats. Okay. So I have my solution folder, which of course you don't have, but I have the rescue. This is what you should have had. Of course, this is the completed part for 4, but this is basically what you should have had, where you have the CSS folder, and you have the images folder, which looks like the same thing as resources. And then you have your about, contact, index, and template HTML files. Well, we've got to get them over into our file tree. In order to do that, and I'm going to step one step higher than rescue, you're going to have to create a compressed folder. So I'm just going to right click in this area, go down to new, go over to compressed zip folder. When I click on that, I'm going to give it a name, and I will probably call this rescue. Oh, that's not the word. Rescue. Yeah, it is. CH4, something like that, so I know where this is coming from. And then I'm going to, hit the enter key to accept the name. You must drag your rescue folder with all of its stuff onto the zip folder. I tried to get it, and this is where I really got hung up. I thought I put all those things in there. I remember dragging it on top of it, and it took it. But when I went to try to upload it, it would not upload. It would not do extractions. It would not do anything. And it was because it wound up being empty. And I was on the phone to tech support, and I said, okay, let me go back over here and take a look, see if it's empty. Sure enough, it was. But we want to click and hold the left mouse button down. When you're dragging onto a zipped folder, you remember, even though a left click drag and drop is typically a move, in this case it will be a copy. Now, I always open up the zip folder to make sure everything is in there. It doesn't do you any good if those things that you meant to have are not there. Okay, where are we at here? Rescue, no. Zip folder. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the solution label. That's where I can see my zip folder. If you don't mind, I'm going to shrink this down quite a bit more. Just so we can see everything we need to see. Yeah, trying to get a good place to put it. We'll get a little smaller and a little shorter so I can get it to float a little bit. Okay, we'll just hang it right here. You want to click on that Rescue Chapter 4 zip in this case, and you want to drag that until it gives you that sign here to upload. Now, once you get that, it says successfully loaded. You really hope so. You want to extract the files, which have folders and files in here, and then delete the zip folder. So when you click on that, you're going to get a successfully extracted files and deleted archive. So now you have your rescue, and it's got what you need for this particular, this is actually going to be working for Chapter 5 actually, but you've got what you needed to complete this assignment in Chapter 4. Now remember, this is the solution files that I'm dealing with, so I don't plan on going through all of the steps, but I'm going to go over the cascading style sheet for you and kind of talk about the different parts of the cascading style sheet and why you're setting them up that way. Okay? So I'm going to open up the index file. I'm going to open up About and Contact and Template. Now, here's what I would like to point out to you. See how I have these things selected here? Remember that you wanted to get your files from your previous location? When you're finished with this problem, this assignment, you want to go and select each one of these and choose this download. Download the template file. Download the the other HTML files there, and then your cascading style sheet. That's how you get your files from your previous chapter ready to go for the next one. Now, if you had mistakes or something, I've been giving this out to folks who had so many mistakes on it that I thought that, like, if you really messed up on Chapter 3, then I gave you the solution for 3, and then you could build your Chapter 4 from that. You'd have the correct files. You just have to upload them like we did. Now, as I recall, you're dealing with some classes. They even have a span in this particular template file. Let's see if I can get that as big as I can. There we go. And as you're going through this, notice that you're having a link. Relationship is a style sheet. The href is, notice no / there. You want to have a relative address there instead of an absolute. So you're going to start off of CSS/styles. And that's coming from where you were originally in here. And this is in there, okay? And then you'll notice that you're going to set up in the header for the template the reference to the HTML file, and then the picture of the little baby hawk, and then the alt text, which a screen reader will read if somebody can't see everything. If they can't see the picture, this is going to read out loud to them. Now, I've noticed on some of the folks with their navigation section, you've got to have if they say use an unordered list, use a UL, but I found that people are not putting their list item open or close on it. You got to have those. This makes them all just run together in one long line. So you've got to have these open close list items so that you'll have it uh, spaced together correctly. Now this will probably still be in a line, but it's going to be spaced correctly. And then we have, starting with the template, a place for a division. Remember, we put that in before. We have the main. We don't know what's going to go there till the next go around. You have the footer, and I've noticed that people are putting their mail to before their copyright. It specifically states to put your copyright first, and then put a paragraph in with the anchor href to a clickable link to go to an email server and send them an email. So that was the template. Now I'm just going to close that out. I'm going to go to index first. And again, check to see that your link is the same way. Your reference to index.html is still there with the little baby. See how, you would push that, click that, and it would open it. And again, your navigation bar should be the same, but of course, when you get finished with this, you may have partnership, gallery, and FAQs, frequently asked questions. And then here in the main, this is where they introduced you to an ID, where you could take a division to use as a way to mark beginning and end of a section. And you typically want to give it an ID and some name there, and it needs to be unique, so that when you want to figure out, or how you want to, like, I want to make this all blue text, and I want it to be a certain font face. I want Helvetica, an Arial, or any sans serif font. Whatever I want to do, I want to do that in the cascading style sheet. And I will use this with a hashtag in front of it to indicate to this cascading style sheet, these are the settings you're going to make for this division called welcome, and anything that's in there, opening, closing here, is going to get those settings. And you'll notice that they also had another ID in your index table that referred to latest, and of course our latest rescue was the baby raccoons. So we have a header 2. We have the image source, images/baby raccoons. We have the alternate text. Hold up, oops, I didn't mean to scroll that way. I meant to scroll this way. Okay, so you will see the alt text there. See if I can get it to slide back now. And then you have your paragraph introducing Fizz, Bandit, and Mohawk. Closing the paragraph, closing the division, anything you want to use to maybe size the image that you're using there for the baby raccoons. So you want to get a height and a width in there. Now, one of the reasons you want to set height and width is so that when they're uploading a web page, it doesn't take as long for the browser to upload the page, because you've told it exactly what the size is. Otherwise, your browser is running through an algorithm to calculate the relative size it's supposed to be in your HTML page. And then, of course, they closed out the main. And again, your footer should be the same regardless. Okay? And, of course, your closings there. So I'm going to close out index. Okay, about, notice you have the same length. As many times as you can, I would just, if this is the title and this is the meta character set and this is this, I would just select those things if I needed to and paste them into the other one. That way I don't type and mess up anything. And then the header has been the same. I would just, if I've got to put it in contact, I'll copy that and put it in there. The navigation. This is a great thing to highlight. Once you got it right in one of them, just copy and paste the whole thing and stick it where it's supposed to be, in this case right after the closing header. And of course here we have a different division, an ID called info. And so in this division we have a description about about the rescue. And we have looks like a reference to the National Wildlife Rehabilitators Association. And there's a picture of a tortoise eating some vegetation. And they list, just another unordered list with list items, different animals that they usually help. And of course, there is a class now. And classes can use the same, the same name throughout if you needed to. So, for classes, which are similar to indexes, but again, you can use the name over, but you have, did you find an injured animal? Contact us and see if we can help. Close the division for that. And that division started up here with info. Now, again, same footer. And then just to be safe that we also take care of contact right now, make sure, and again, make sure that you're putting your first and last name there. You're putting the date that you're getting this done. It says put the file name there, and I like that. The one thing that I wish they had put in there was which chapter this comes from. So you just have to remember to change the chapters as you copy your files from one chapter to the next when you download them down here. So you'd want to make sure that, you have your name. I need to see your name there. And if you wanted to add, well, they don't have you add it, and I don't want you to get, for the lab to count it wrong. But in a real life situation, I'd add another line here, and I would put in chapter and just put in, chapter 4 or whatever. Put chapter and then just put the number 4. But at any rate, you get the gist of that. Again, the same kinds of things repeating within this document. But now we have a division for contacts. How can you reach us? You can reach us at the office phone number or an email with a mail to. They're using a class called Link. And I can't quite get all the way over there apparently. But I think you get the idea. And then you have, and don't forget times when they want you to use a new window, so a target equals quotes underscore blank, close quotes, means that you're going to open that another new page. Okay, and then again, the footer. So we've looked at the HTML, and we've gone on quite a bit here, so it's almost 18. It is 18. So I'll stop here so I can record this much in a video, YouTube video, and then I'll do the rest of it. May have to do that tomorrow morning, but I will get it done. And we'll go over those cascading style sheets that we need to talk about, okay? All right.